baited Chibli yesterday, you'd be so proud. Please tell me that you baited him in the domain that I think you baited him in, which is you baited him into talking about Nintendo Switch games being $80 instead of $70. Chib is pretty unflappable, but the Nintendo Switch stuff is it's got him rattled. I don't think it's that the games are more expensive. I think it's that someone in his chat said, "Thank God the games are more expensive," and I think that he's been flipping out about like that one comment for like 3 days. I can relate, man. I've been there many times. I mean, I can definitely understand because like people keep like asking me to care about it, and then they get mad like when I don't really care about it, because like I would rather that the games were cheaper, but also like my number one principle about the price of video games is I don't want to spend my one life on planet Earth arguing about like a $10 difference in the price of toys. If you care about it, that's fine, but just leave me out of it, man. It's not my domain, okay? You said games are too cheap in Dan's chat. I did not say they were too cheap. You got me twisted. I said they were underpriced. Before you say that's on based, I also said possibly the most based thing of all time, which was most games. Actually, I think I said 95% plus of games aren't worth $5 to begin with, so what do I care if they charge $10,000? I'm not playing that trash anyway. To which I then said, to be honest, no disrespect, but the average game that comes out, you would have to pay me to play it, and they do. So I was kind of high on my own supply. I'm not going to disagree. Everybody wants to argue about the price of games. Nobody wants to argue about the fact that, especially in AAA, like 98% of them are not worth playing for like more than an hour and a half. Like once you get through the vertical slice and you're like, that's really all it's going to be for the rest of the game. Like, I'm just going through the motions, like achievement hunting. Yeah, there's counter examples, buddy, okay? But like, if we lived in a just world, Forspoken would be like $2.50 MSRP, and Balatro would have been like $500, and that would have been justice. But instead, as a gamer, you have to exercise your own discretion in order to take advantage of your asymmetric upside risk. AKA, in less ambiguous terminology, I'm telling you to stop caring about the price of trash. But it's up to you. I also want to say it's up to you. What should Nubby's price be? I think it was $7. This should probably be I'm gonna say $109.99. I don't even want to talk about how much Slay the Spire would cost, because I don't think people are ready for that conversation. A fair price for Slay the Spire is probably like, I'm gonna say $2,400. If we're indexing it to like what the average game costs versus what I would describe as the value of the average game, Slay the Spire should probably cost as much as like a Toyota Camry or something. I'm glad it doesn't. Like, that's the thing. I think it's very gamer friendly that they said, hey, we're going to release this amazing game and it's going to be like $19.99 or something like that. -2, it's mid compared to Balatro. You're actually just like, you're just pissing me off. Go away. You're not pissing me off because Balatro's worse than Slay the Spire. That's a matter of opinion. I would say both opinions are within the spectrum of sanity. You're pissing me off because, like, you can just have both of them. You can have both. Also, Slay the Spire was holding the shit down for, oh shit, like 5 years before Balatro even came out, man. It's not the OG, but you got to put some respect on it for keeping his seat warm. Also, I'm going to -2 it, and Local Thunk, don't listen. Balatro's an amazing game. Easily last year's game of the year for me, and it wasn't even close. But I think Slay the Spire clears it, and it's not an insult to Balatro. I just think Slay the Spire genuinely is a candidate for the best game ever made. It's not an insult. Balatro's an easy 10. But I think Slay the Spire might just be like one of the few 11s that's ever existed. Pregnancy test! What are the Isaacs worth? Well, the Isaacs are like the S&P 500 right now. It's like you gotta ask me like day to day. It's very volatile. It's not at its all-time high, let me put it that way. Do not buy this dip. That's financial advice, VIP Daniel. We're not allowed to give financial advice. You know what's pissing me off is every time I go to Google Finance, which is like 7 times a day lately, the S&P 500 looks like a plane in free fall. But then it has like all the other graphs next to it. And the Bitcoin graph is like this. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? It's supposed to be flipped. The S&P 500 is supposed to be like chill. And then the Bitcoin graph is supposed to look like, you know, your heart rate on a roller coaster or something like that. I'm not gonna say that's what's really pissing me off about this whole thing, because like there's a lot more that like actually matters, but it's just, you know, one more thing. I don't think it's good when even in the short term, a cryptocurrency is more stable than like an index of the 500 biggest companies in the United States. No, not Dream S&P 500. I don't know. That's probably at like all-time highs, right? Dream S&P 500 has crashed hard. Are you saying this is like a generational buying opportunity? It's crazy that people like can't motivate themselves to write 100 words about a streetcar named Desire, but they can write like 10,000 about a $10 price increase for Mario Kart 9. Anyway, whatever. I'll be here all week. Will you buy the upgrade pack? I don't know shit about it. Like, I'll be honest with you. Basically, if I ever want to play a game and then I go to play it and it's like you gotta pay like $20 more to play this, I'm probably gonna put my credit card number in. You don't have to, and that's fine. But if I'm already pot committed, yeah, I'll keep drinking that garbage. But the thing is, there's no shot you're gonna catch me paying $60 for God of War Ragnarok. You won't catch me paying $0 for God of War Ragnarok. That's just not gonna happen. 2018 was better anyway. Getting old is so funny. You know that there's a consensus among young people online that like the summer of 2016 was like the last time that the world was good. What am I doing? Why am I bouncing and moaning on it? That's an insane take, man. It's true? No, it fucking wasn't, man. There was a lot of horrible shit that happened in 2016 if you were like an adult. Harambe, right? No, motherfucker, real shit. Not fake shit. I don't work at the Cincinnati Zoo. I'm not concerned about... I wish that the monkey was still alive, but like that doesn't really have a personal impact on me. Hey, hang on, my wife's talking to me, so... Whoa, okay. Oh, I saw. Nintendo delayed pre-order date for Switch 2 due to tariffs, but Canadians didn't get interrupted. Me when I get to consume, but unironically. Fuck my Chungus life. Well, you should have thought of that before, statistically speaking. You probably didn't vote for him if you're in my chat. You ever think about that shit? I know, you're probably like, I tried my best. And I'm like, I know, but I gotta say fuck somebody, okay? So... you can catch me cruising in Mario Kart 9 for, I don't know, maybe like 17% cheaper than it's gonna cost. Well, no, it changes day to day, so maybe if they start manufacturing that shit in like, I'm trying to think of one of the islands that got tariffed. Maybe they'll move the fucking Nintendo Switch factory to like the Falkland Islands or something. Who knows, man? Is penguins on the Falkland Islands? I thought it turns out I don't know shit about the Falkland Islands, man. I know one thing about the Falkland Islands. They're from Argentina? Well, that's complicated, I think. I'm not really the type of fella to get involved in that. I think Anthony Fantano said something about that. He got in a little bit of trouble, so I'm choosing not to.
I guess the concept behind this record also shifted at one point as Waters was kind of inspired by the recent Falklands War that had spurred up due to England invading Argentina.
Embarrass myself, to be honest, by displaying my own ignorance. Always reminds me of something my friend said in 9th grade English class once that stuck with me. My mother said it is always better to appear... I'm not calling him a fool, by the way. I'm just sharing an anecdote from my own life about why I try to keep my mouth shut about things that I personally don't understand. My mother said 'tis better to appear a fool than to open one's mouth and remove all doubt. I think about that whenever someone asks me about something that's like way above my pay grade. It's better to just say, I'm not sure about that, I'm kind of stupid, instead of me being like, here's my nuanced take on it that I'm echoing from what I read online, and then they go, you don't know shit. Do you or the other parents dominate the small talk? I'd say it's like a 50-50 split. The other parents have gotten, and this is good for me, I want to be clear, the other parents have gotten wise to the fact that my job sounds interesting, but after like 8 birthday parties, I have nothing else to talk about. Like, people are like, how's work? And I'm like, it's the same as it ever is. And they're like, what are you playing? And I'm like, I don't say it in a rude way, but I'm like, you wouldn't have heard of it. Like, it's hard. There's a lot of gamers that have kids in my daughter's school, but like, they're playing different stuff, which is fair. I'm not pulling like a hipster card. It's just like, yeah, have you ever heard of this guy, Corey? Don't worry about it. But then what happens is that the balance has shifted. So they asked me every question that they could possibly ask me about my job. And now I get to ask them about their jobs, which is very interesting for me because I run in circles where everybody streams. So hearing about people that work like relatively normal jobs is sick, because they're probably thinking they're also running in normie circles where they think that their job is boring. But to me, it's very interesting because it's all novel to me. So I'm asking them lots of questions. Like, especially given, I don't know, maybe it's like too real, but given the economic news this week, I'm like, I gotta catch up with the other parents, man. I gotta be like, how is your industry affected by all the BS that's happening like in the news right now? And I'm hoping that they're gonna be like, we're relatively insulated. I'm hoping they're not gonna like be like under the gun or something. Awful, thanks for asking. Well, like, you know, I would love to commiserate, let's put it that way. Yeah, like I'd love to let them vent and hear what it's like, you know, for someone that's really got they got skin in the game, let's put it that way. Everyone thought kids were dumb for wanting to be streamers, but it's about to be the most secure option. Kate and I talk about this all the time. There's like a great injustice in the world. 2015, I was like, the streaming thing is a bubble, man. I gotta learn how to code. And since then, I'm not bragging or flexing at all. It's an injustice. It's dodged like every single headwind that's existed in the modern economy. It boomed a little bit like during COVID. It's, as far as I know, it's unaffected by tariffs. Like I don't feel, I mean, I'm happy about it because I'm in it, but it's like, I feel bad for other people for sure. Now, your entire identity is tied to like 2 or 3 different large tech companies that could unperson you in a heartbeat if you said something that you shouldn't have said. But like, apart from that, it's been surprisingly resilient. Let's put it that way. Like Prozac, the Canadian cartoon band, said, I'm gonna sleep with myself tonight. No one else can harm me. You guys ever listen to Prozac when they went through their weird abstinence era? Although I'm really quite fond of you, my best intentions never turn out right. I'm gonna sleep with your dad tonight. Sorry.